This morning, our first guest speaker will be Joan Zuber Earle. Joan has come all the way from California to share her World War II experiences with us today. During the war, Joan's father, Major Adolph Zuber, United States Marines, was stationed at Ford Island, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Joan, who was age 9 at the time, along with her parents and her sister Peggy, lived just a few hundred feet from Battleship Row, where the USS Arizona was anchored. Being a civilian at Pearl Harbor would be no guarantee of safety when the Japanese attacked on December 7, 1941. Of the more than 2,300 Americans killed that day, 48 were civilians. Many were relatives of naval and military personnel. Of those 48 civilians, 12 were children under the age of 16. As Joan's book, Children of Battleship Row, explains, she and her sister came very close to being on that casualty list. Fortunately, Joan survived and has gone on to become an author and an educator. She received a bachelor's and master's degrees in history from the University of California, Berkeley. She taught school since 1955 and worked as a resource specialist at the Fred Finch Youth Center in Oakland. She's currently an education therapist with her own private practice called Love of Learning, where she evaluates and treats children, adolescents, and adults with learning problems. Joan is a member of the Association of Educational Therapists. And so now it is my pleasure to introduce to you Joan Zuber Earle.
Well, good morning. I think it's altogether fitting that I should be here at Gettysburg, because one of the most remarkable things of my childhood before Pearl Harbor was the Gettysburg Address and the history of the United States. We were raised as military children. We were raised as Marines. My dad had gone to the Naval Academy. He got seasick. I think the first cruise that they took, he got up and he wanted to know how far they were out to sea. And he found out they were tied up to the dock. So he opted for the Marine Corps instead. We had traveled all over, and we expected to be down in Coronado, California, for 2 years, when suddenly my dad got the orders to go to Hawaii on October 16th of 1940. So we set sail for Hawaii on the Lurline. I had a wonderful trip and arrived in Hawaii. I've been trying to recreate Ford Island, and what we saw when we went over there, it was almost a children's paradise. If you can imagine that the Eisenhower farm home here is just a small kind of quarters, and that building there is the BOQ, which is the Bachelor Officers' Quarters, which was right next to our quarters. Right about here would be the end of, you're approaching the water, and here would be the water, and back behind you, closer than the Red Cross tent, would be the West Virginia and the Tennessee, and the Arizona would be approximately over where that tent is there. The ships were right in front of the house, and they formed the background of our lives.